What's up, guys? Bang, bang. It is lunch money time. While Wall Street's trying to get rich, the rest of us trying to get our lunch money right. I'm here with Polina. I don't know what this is. It's like an Easter / a little bunny outfit. Whatever's going on is going on.
Easter?
Polina was famous in Bulgaria today. She's literally giving interviews in Bulgarian. I'm sitting over like, I don't know how to speak Bulgarian, but that's okay. What is going on?
Not too much. I was really nervous because I realized in the middle of the interview that I actually don't know how to speak Bulgarian.
Oh, don't forget, Lunch Money is now sponsored by BlockFi. BlockFi has 3 products. They've got a crypto exchange where you can buy and sell crypto. You can earn up to 8.6% APY in an interest-bearing account. And you can deposit crypto and take out a US dollar loan against your crypto collateral. Let's get it. Go to BlockFi.com/Pomp. Are they capitulating?
Ready?
Woo-hoo!
Let me say my piece. JP Morgan said Bitcoin could rally as high as $146,000 in the long term as it competes with gold as an alternative currency. Bitcoin's volatility would need to drop substantially before it can match gold, blah, blah, blah. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon once called Bitcoin a fraud and said he is more interested in blockchain technology than crypto. What do you have to say?
Why are they so conservative? $146,000?
Also, why so exact?
Let me be very clear here. Bitcoin's market cap will surpass gold's market cap by the end of this decade. Yes. Bitcoin today is about a $600 billion market cap. Gold's anywhere between 8 to 9 trillion, depending on who you talk to. Bitcoin's market cap will surpass gold's market cap by the end of this year. Why? It is because both of them are sound money principles. One is an analog application of it, meaning that it is shown in physical form. It's sound money principles in a physical form, analog version. Bitcoin is sound money principles in a digital application. Everything in the world, if you have the analog version or the physical version, and then you digitize it, the digital version is always bigger than the physical version. Why? Because of accessibility and technology adoption. So Bitcoin will eventually grow to be bigger than gold. I believe that will happen by the end of this decade. JP Morgan saying it's going to be worth $146,000 is going to look overly conservative by the end of this decade, because what people around the world are realizing is that the fiat currencies are being devalued away. About 30% of all US dollars in circulation have been put there in the last 12 months. 30% of all the dollars in circulation have been created in the last 12 months. If you think that this is sustainable, you've lost your mind. If you think that the cost of assets and the cost of goods isn't going to explode, especially for the bottom 40% of Americans, you've lost your mind. And so what happens is people say, I need help. I need something to protect my wealth. And they go and they get Bitcoin, not gold. And so we've seen outflows from the gold ETFs. We've seen inflows to the Bitcoin publicly traded funds. That will continue. Institutions want Bitcoin. Bitcoiners aren't selling. And so the price has to aggressively go up in order for it to accommodate everyone.
Your face looks perfectly oval today.
Yeah, because I got that big brain.
I don't think that's what it makes it oval.
Actually, having a small brain means that you're smarter than if you have a big brain.
It's how many wrinkles you got on the brain.
Facts. That's what you guys watch Lunch Money for.
We agree on something.
Well, it's just science.
Billionaire investor Carl Icahn warned of the possibility of a significant decline for stocks at some point. Okay, I could have told you that. You didn't need to listen to Carl Icahn. There will be a significant decline in stocks at some point. He said, in my day, I've seen a lot of wild rallies with a lot of mispriced stocks, but there's one thing they all have in common. Eventually, they hit a wall and go into a major, painful correction. Nobody can predict when it will happen. But when that does happen, look out below. Okay, now, this is...
Can I say?
This is just very generic advice.
No, what he's saying is look, there's been this massive rally that stocks are overvalued by all the value investor metrics. The two things that I will say is they've been saying the same thing about Amazon for 20 years. And the value investors have to realize that technology companies have a very deflationary impact on markets. So that drives down prices, it drives down the cost of labor, it drives all this stuff down. It is different in terms of the types of businesses. The multiples are different for a reason. Nobody would have thought you could build $1 trillion company in the old world without kind of this internet-enabled technology.
So maybe they are valued just fine then.
Second point is that you've got market manipulation going on. The Federal Reserve literally took out the bazooka. It was like, and they just sent trillions of dollars into the economy. They're just literally stuffing the economy. And it's all relative because it's not just the US economy. They're doing this everywhere around the world. Central banks are just literally printing and printing and printing money, putting it into the economy. It devalues currencies. And when you devalue the currency, the price of things go up. So the stock market looks like it's continuing to rise. If you take the stock market and you denominate it in gold, since 1971, the stock market is down. So it is the dollar that is being devalued more so than it is value being created.
So it's kind of like a fake, like...
The U.S. stock market has not kept up with the price appreciation of gold.
That's crazy.
So again, it looks like this line straight up into the right, a 45-degree angle.
That's because of inflation, guys. Don't forget inflation.
Yes.
I'm just here to remind people of the inflation.
Yeah, and you got all kinds of wackos on the internet that are saying that inflation is 2%. If you think inflation is 2%, I got all kinds of things to say. I got Chuck E. Cheese coins to sell.
All right.
Next.
Are you okay now?
Yeah, I'm great.
Okay.
I'm just real fired up today. I had some idiot who's in a very influential position write me an email today, and he couldn't have been more wrong, and I had to let him know.
All right. You let him know.
I told him he was a cog in the wheel of the incumbents that was ripe for disruption. A direct quote. I literally wrote that and like, this person's pretty, this person doesn't get emails like that every day, but I had to let them know, just put you on notice. Disruption is coming and you're sitting in an institution that's going to get disrupted first.
We got dancing robots now.
All right, come on.
Jack Ma. Where is Jack Ma?
They found him. They found him. Supposedly they found him.
They found him?
Supposedly they are claiming that he's just laying low. He didn't disappear.
I told you that. He was like, oh, he hasn't done any public appearances lately. Yeah, if I was Jack Ma, I'd chill in my bed. I wouldn't go out the door. I'm famous enough. I don't need to be on your public appearance. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, cool. Until the CCP comes and says, we're going to re-educate you, Jack Ma. You think you're a billionaire?
They ain't coming, though, for him.
They absolutely came for him. They stopped him from going public.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And then he wasn't seen for 2 months.
Well, if you're going to stop me from being public, I'm going to chill at home and not go out in public.
Maybe that's what happened. Or
okay. Janet.
Just can we say one thing, though? Can we just bring up one point? This is important.
Are we going to have to redo the video?
No. Just give me permission to say my point.
Go on.
This is why America is the greatest country in the world. Because we have capitalism and democracy.
Well, you have freedom of speech.
You have freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want. You can literally live your life.
You can say whatever you want until I cut the video and I'm like, you're not saying that. But that's
the Michael Jackson joke was all time.
It was not, guys. There were better jokes in the comments that I saw than his joke.
The Michael Jackson joke was all time. Kids, cover your ears. I'll say it one time. Go ahead. Just kidding.
Janet Yellen, President-elect Joe Biden's pick for Treasury Secretary, made more than $7 million in recent years by giving speeches to Wall Street banks, major corporations and industry groups, the people that she wants to regulate. She made $7 million off of them.
Hey, who you think's side she's on?
That's wild. But she'll soon regulate them.
By the way, I have no problem with her once she left going and doing speeches and getting paid lots of money. She's smart. She's got something to say. They want to hear it. Great. You should be able to earn as much money as you want.
Wow, she made $952,000 from speeches to Citi.
You think Citi's going to get
one of the largest banks in the country?
You think Citi's going to be treated nicely when she's the Treasury Secretary? I don't know. But I got 952,000 reasons to believe that maybe she might treat them pretty nicely.
So now people are concerned about her cozy relationship with Wall Street. Meanwhile, I'm like, why ain't people paying me $1 million to give a speech? Do you know the kind of speech I can give?
Well, they didn't pay her $1 million for one speech.
Okay, for multiple. Speeches. Nobody's paying me $1 million for multiple speeches.
You want me to give you a Bitcoin to give a speech?
Sure.
All right, well, that's too high of a price.
I want two.
The second thing to think about is, speaking of inflation, Janet Yellen is famous for thinking that it's okay to let inflation run higher and to basically just be real liquid with the cash.
Loose with the cash.
Real liquid. And so we're setting up for an absolute destruction of the purchasing power of the US dollar. We got Joe Biden and Kamala Harris who literally are like, oh, that $900 billion that we just approved, that was a down payment. We're coming in with $3.3 trillion. get the bazooka ready. And then you got Janet Yellen, who is notorious for being okay with degrading the purchasing power and increasing higher levels of inflation. These people are about to conspire to do this. And you're going to sit there and you're going to watch it, and they're going to absolutely destroy the purchasing power of the U.S. dollar, and they are going to destroy the middle class and hurt the bottom 50% of Americans.
Hold on a second.
Yes.
I read in this article, I found out that she has a stamp collection, Janet Yellen does, which is estimated to be worth between $15,000 and $50,000. Do you know about Janet Yellen's stamp collection? Because I didn't, and I want to know more.
Well, one Bitcoin's about to be worth more than her stamp collection, so maybe she should have turned those stamps in and gotten some Bitcoin instead.
We can't equate everything to Bitcoin price now. Like,
would you rather have a stamp or a Bitcoin?
A stamp collection
that
will appreciate over time.
Okay, which one would you rather have?
The Bitcoin.
Of course. And her stamp collection, if it's only worth $15,000?
$250,000.
Yeah, well, let's say it's only $15,000, the bottom end of the range. That means that her stamp collection is worth half a Bitcoin.
That's a lot, Jen.
If she had sold her stamps and bought a Bitcoin when Bitcoin was at $15,000, she literally would have doubled it.
Let's stop being mean to Miss Janet.
By the way, she's super smart. I'm just telling you what's coming. Is these people are about to destroy the purchasing power of the U.S. dollar.
Hide your kids, hide your stamp collections.
They have to. That was a pretty good joke. They have to do it because they are addicted. They are interventionists. They can't let the free market run because they feel like they don't have control. They have to intervene, and they have our economy absolutely addicted to monetary stimulus. Go ahead.
Slack went down on the first full day of work in 2021. People had to do work via email.
They were like,
y'all... And horse and buggy.
Y'all thought 2020 was bad? Watch this.
And then Notion went down too.
Why do you care?
3 minutes before my interview, and all my interview questions were saved on Notion. And I just had to wing it, guys. Do you know how not fun that is? And I had a moment of meltdown, and he was like, you have one job, which is to interview people. You can interview somebody without your questions. And I was like,
You also told me you hate the internet.
I said I hate the internet.
All right, but by the way, this is why. Don't write things down. Who cares about notes? Just put it in your head. If you have a good memory, then you'll always have it right there in your head.
But I don't have a good memory, and I don't rely on my memory.
Just remember that I love you.
Is this the first I love you on Lunch Money history? I think it is.
You owe me a Bitcoin for that. Go ahead.
All right. So,
what you got for us? Yep.
We got Ask Lunch Money time. Hashtag AskLM in the comments, guys.
I will answer questions, and so will Polina.
Hey, guys. Love the show. From Diogo. Do you invest? If so, in what? Cheers from Portugal. Do I invest? No, but I should, because all the investments I would have made would have exploded.
You could tell them what you do for the early stage investing.
What I do for them?
Yeah. She helps me.
Oh.
She meets the founders sometimes, and she tells me, yeah, I like this one.
They got good energy. They don't got good energy. I can tell a mile away.
She literally hits me with, they ain't got good energy. What?
And then am I right?
You're not evaluating crystals. You're looking at people's businesses.
And then am I right?
Second of all, Diogo, Diogo. I learned this recently. That is the proper way to write the name. Diego is not. Diego, you guys are cheating. If you're a Diego, you should change your name to Diogo.
When did you learn this?
Somebody I know who runs a company. Their name is Diogo, and they were explaining it to me.
It sounds like something a Diogo would say, and I feel like a Diego would say that they are the real version.
Hey, if you Diego, I can't help you. Diogo's got to me first.
It's like me with Paulina, Polina, and Paulina. Paulina.
Okay, please. This isn't a spelling bee. This isn't a spelling bee.
Okay.
Next.
Zondi JS. So he's awesome. He lives in Europe.
How do you know it's a guy?
I think he is. He lives in Europe. Lunch Money is his evening dessert because he's in Europe. His question is, how exactly does it work to take out a loan against Bitcoin? I mean, I don't want to sell it, but I would like to take the profit someday. Pomp and Michael Saylor have hard-coded my brain into never sell your Bitcoin. At what price range is it safer or better to take out the loan? $100K? $1 million? What are the risks? I guess this way it is tax-free, right? Thanks. Keep up the good work. You're awesome. You're awesome. Okay.
All right. This is not financial advice. I'm merely going to explain how a loan against Bitcoin works. Basically, you give somebody your Bitcoin. They then say, okay, you gave me $100 worth of Bitcoin. I will give you $30 in cash. And the reason why it's a great business for them is because they have your Bitcoin. And if the price goes down, right, so meaning that there's risk, they can sell your Bitcoin in order to recoup their $30. So it's a great business for the lender. The reason why people do this is because they need cash liquidity, but they don't want to sell the Bitcoin because that's a taxable event, or they want to hold it because it's going to appreciate or whatever. And so what they'll do is they'll give somebody their Bitcoin and say, I'll give you $100 of Bitcoin, you give me $30 of cash. The risk in doing this is if you say, here's my $100 of Bitcoin, I got $30 in cash, and then the price of Bitcoin falls, all of a sudden, they're going to start selling your Bitcoin at certain marks in order to make sure they don't lose the $30 loan. So it's the collateral. Similar to a car loan, if you stop paying your car loan, they come, they repossess your car, and then they liquidate it to recoup their money. Don't yawn. So what you should do is, if you want to do this, you've got to be very careful. You don't want to have a high LTV. Meaning
this is not financial.
You don't want to go and get something that's like, hey, I gave you $100, I'm going to borrow $80, right? You want to keep it low. And then the second thing is that you've got to be really intelligent about managing the margin. So if all of a sudden you took a 30% LTV loan, I gave $100 of Bitcoin, I got $30 in cash, and all of a sudden now Bitcoin's price dropped, so my $30 is against only $50 of Bitcoin, well, that's a big problem. And so you got to either post more collateral, etc. So long story short is it's pretty straightforward how it works. It's risky. And so you've got to be very careful, do your own research and go make your own decisions. Don't listen to me. I don't know anything, but that's how it works.
Okay. Thank you. WJ Ebel. Who is a better dancer, Pomp or Pimp? Do you even have to ask?
By the way, that's all you needed. That's all you needed to know.
He's actually a pretty good dancer, shockingly.
Pretty good. I have never lost a dance competition, ever. I've been in a lot of clubs, I've been in a lot of bars, and I've never lost a single dance competition. And I'll even go as far as to say, do you want to know what the finishing move is?
No. Yeah, if you do it, I'm gonna.
I'm telling everyone, I got one move. It's undefeated. I crip walk. Anybody who doesn't know what a crip walk is, go ahead and go Google it. I crip walk on over to whoever I'm competing with, and I take my shirt and I put it over their head. Undefeated. If that happens to you, if somebody crip walks over to you and then takes their shirt and puts it over your head, you got to leave the club. Like, you got to go. Just saying, undefeated. Ask any friend I have.
All right, give me your best move right now.
That is the move. I don't even do other, like, it's not like I do a bunch of other stuff. Like, literally, I just go right for the kill shot. Oh, you want to dance? Okay.
He has a hilarious, you like waddle. You're like.
Well, okay. We all know I'm more athletic than that. All right, next.
Dan Williams. Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
This is what I'm here for.
Hold on. One horse-sized
duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
100 duck-sized horses.
Wrong.
Oh. But they're like agile and they can kick you. Well,
but if you got one, it's like in a fight. You can fight somebody bigger, stronger, whatever, but it's always better to have one threat than 100 threats.
Yeah, but that threat is massive.
A horse-sized duck? What's that duck gonna do? I'm gonna punch that duck right in his beak.
It's gonna literally eat you. It's gonna it's gonna pick you up.
I'm gonna crip walk over to
you in the ocean.
Crip walk over to the duck and put my shirt over his head.
It's gonna take you in and drop you in the ocean with the sharks. That's what the duck is gonna do.
Ducks don't go in the ocean like that.
Yep, but it can fly, I think. Can it fly?
Yeah, well, yes, ducks can fly. Okay, somebody needs to go back. Do you know how big a duck-sized horse is?
Big.
Yeah, you can have them going around, they're going to turn around and kick you.
But see, I love ducks. Okay, it's okay. We can move on.
All right, anything left?
Anything left? No!
Go sign up for a BlockFi account, blockfi.com/pomp. See ya.
Bang, bang. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Lunch Money as much as we did.
And don't forget, Lunch Money is now sponsored by BlockFi, so go check them out. There's a link in the description that you can click on. I'm an investor, a user, and a huge fan. What?
You're a bigger fan of BlockFi than you are of me?
BlockFi is my second favorite thing in the world behind Polina. They've got 3 products. They can give you a US dollar loan. You can earn up to 8.6% interest on an interest-bearing account, or you can buy and sell cryptocurrencies on their crypto exchange. I personally use the interest-bearing account. There's not very many places where you'll find up to 8.6% interest on a deposit in an interest-bearing account. Go do your own research. There's risk associated, but 8.6% is pretty compelling. So click on the link in the description. Say thanks to the folks at BlockFi. Subscribe to our channel. Like the video.
annoy Polina in the comments, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
And be kind to your friends.